All right. Well, I am trying to figure out here real quick how to screen share. Let me screen share right here. All right, there we go. All right, everybody. So, hey, what's up? What's going on? All right, so right now I am basically by myself. So I put an invite out for some people, mainly Doug Garrett. Uh, and so what I am doing is I'm actually going to be drawing his character, uh, from yeah, from his character Lone Wolf that got funded today. Congratulations. I'll probably say that again. Hopefully he pops on. He's at 4700 on a 3587. As of December 3rd, he's at 4705 and 272 backers. That's awesome. Um, so yeah, so I am going to be doing some drawing right now. Yeah. So anyway, I am going to go here and we'll be looking at the chat. Hopefully we'll get someone to go up in on the chat. Let me mute that real quick. All right. Let's see if I can get multiple windows going here at the same time. Okay. Well, hey, hopefully someone pops in. It'd be nice if Doug Garrett popped in, but that's fine. I'm just going to be drawing anyway. So anyway, yeah, so congratulations are in order. And so let me just get warmed up. I got to work on my page, on a page for my book tonight. But in the meantime, I got to warm up, got to do my thing. And yeah, so let's see here. Get my pencil ready. Get that out. And let's draw us some lone wolf. All right, so let me see what we got. We got here a Native American. If I understand properly, he's about 200 years old, but he does not look it. But he is a monster killer of sorts. Zombies, I guess werewolves are in his past or something to that effect. So, yeah. So let's see what we can drum up here. So, trying to get a little action pose of some sort here. Had a good day today. In my studio now, but today was my 9-year-old bro. He's 9 now, but my son Aiden's birthday. He just turned 9, and that's cool. We had a nice time. Went out to eat, opened up some presents at the restaurant for him and such. So, see if we can. Flesh this out. Because he's got a gun or something here. So let's see if we can get a little gun in the background. Let's see, maybe he change the color of that so we can find it. This is a secondary image, secondary figure. This will be a zombie who no longer has a head. And let's get him to flex his arm this way. So extend it down. All right. So let's see, what's the head doing? The head's flying here. No, let's put the head over here. Yeah? Let's put the head over here. All right. Put some construction lines down, like so. Then let me manipulate this a little bit so I can perhaps fit a little bit more. And let's resize this over. Right. Yeah. So let's see if anyone is in the stream right now. Anyone's saying hi? I got no one. Oh, there he is. Shinobi. Shinobi is in the house right now. What's up, Shinobi? Hey, Shinobi, did you get? I don't know if you're. I'm just drawing right now. I'm drawing Lone Wolf. Don't know if you wanted to join in. If you do, just let me know. I'll send you the link. Just gonna be in here long enough to. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let me go send that to you right now. Let's see here. At Shinobi. There you go. There's the link. Let's see if I can get someone else in there. Let me look at my profile. Yeah, let me. Hey, you're in. Cool.
What's up?
How's it going?
It's weird I'm the only one in the chat considering there's like 3 people watching right now.
Oh shoot! I better get drawing then. I'm just trying to hit this up real quick. It's, there you go. Hit that. And paste this.
And then there are two.
I know they're dropping out because I'm not doing any drawing. All right, so let me get back to what people want to see. That's me drawing. So Shinobi's here, awesome. Thank you for joining. All right, so right now I'm just doing a little lone wolf art action.
Oh,
Yeah, just in hey, listen, they got a successfully funded campaign, so I figure why not? I got to do a warm up skate before I start working on my pages anyway, so
understandable.
might as well. So how's it going?
It's going all right.
All right, man. That's cool. How's your project? Still working that out?
Yep.
Awesome. You drawing anything right now?
I'm getting ready to scan something so I can.
Oh yeah, let's take a look at that. So some background in here.
Hold on, my scanner's being weird.
Technology is weird.
Yeah.
It always does that. All right, so let's lower that. Let's throw another layer on top of that. All right, so yeah, so we got two watching. Don't know who those two people are.
Yeah.
But I thank those two people for popping in. Lady Celtic, that's who it is.
Yeah.
Hi, Lady Celtic, what's going on?
Yeah. Okay, and share.
Nice. So I wonder if anyone will notice that these are buttonfly jeans on this zombie.
Buttonfly. I haven't heard from those since like the early '90s.
That's a Rob Liefeld reference. Remember his buttonfly jeans commercial?
Right.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, I think he was like the only comic book artist from that particular time period to ever appear on a major commercial.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that funny? You would think that it would be someone like McFarlane, but
Right. Or Jim Lee.
or Jim Lee. Although Jim Lee was very shy, from what I understand back in that day. Not so much now, but
Right.
he was a little shy, a little introverted. I guess he's kind of still that way in a certain sense, but
Makes sense.
I think they still have a few more days left on their campaign. Shady D, hey, what's up, Shady? No, there's nothing trying to come out of the jeans, Lady Chelsea. What are you trying to insinuate? Oh man.
Right. What's happening, Shady?
Yeah, what's up, Shady? We're just warming up, Shady. Doing stuff. I'm drawing flying heads. When zombies get decapitated, they don't bleed. They just kind of lop off, huh?
That's what I. Well, if Walking Dead is anything to go by.
But it's weird because they eat the meat, but they get the blood from the people they're eating, right?
Right.
So why isn't that blood like in their bodies somewhere? I don't know. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's very weird.
Does Lady Celtic know if zombies bleed?
Yeah. Ask a zombie fan, I guess.
So it's all good, Shady. We all have technical difficulties every now and again. Shady's over there saying his internet's acting up at the moment.
Right. I mean, trying to explain why. Trying to explain why zombies don't bleed out when they get their heads sliced off. It's like trying to figure out where the trailer goes, where Optimus Prime transforms into robot mode.
Right?
You can only theorize.
Oh, that's all you can do.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like the people who bought a PS4 are going to finally get their Final Fantasy VII remake eventually.
Huh. Now, this Lady Celtic, this guy is not wearing button. The guy facing us, Lone Wolf himself, he's not wearing button fly jeans. All right, he's got zipper. Lady Celtic says that zombies move until their heads get chopped off. I have to agree with that. I don't know. So right now I've got Shinobi. He's drawing. I don't know. Shady, are you an artist? Speak to me, my friend. If you are, I can send you the link. You can join us. All right, Shady. Let me hit you up.
Yeah.
What is your Twitter handle? Do I follow you? Do you follow me? I'm not sure. Ah, nice. Yeah. Why don't you put your Twitter handle right there in the chat, and I'll go ahead and I'll send you that, and you can draw along with us at Shady Comics Word. I got you. All right, Shady. So I sent you the link. If you feel like joining us, by all means.
The more the merrier, I always say.
Yeah, man, the more the merrier. I said, I could get up to 8 people in here. I'm drawing anyway for a little while, a little warm up here, so might as well get some other artists in here. So Lone Wolf is a Native American monster hunter killer, something like that. Werewolves, zombies. I don't think he discriminates much. If you're a monster, you're getting done in. Dean Winchester style.
Yeah, but Godzilla's the king of all monsters. Would he be a match?
Well, he's a titan though? He doesn't really count. He's not really a monster. You know, he's like a earth god, an elemental.
So werewolves, vampires, Frankenstein's monsters, that's more his speed.
Yeah. I think that's where he's at right now. I believe if I understand this right, he is not going to give up the fight. He is going to keep going until they're all completely eradicated. So.
Be kind of cool if he could team up with the Belmont family.
Sure. That would be cool. So we're working on our Shinobi girl right here. Shinobi
Yep.
right here.
Yeah.
Nice. Man, I took my. I was mentioning earlier how it was my son's birthday today. He turned 9, so we wanted to go to the Chinese buffet. Oh my goodness! I ate myself into a food coma. I came, I came home, sat down on the couch to watch a video on my phone real quick before I came down to my studio. And next thing I know is they informed me that I fell snoring. So I definitely I ate too much, knocked my own self out. All right, let's see. All right, so I got to, hey, Zayd Comics, what's up, buddy? Hey, listen, Zayd, what's going on, man? I'd love to have you join us if you want in the stream. If you got a few moments, pop in, talk. You know, you guys should check out Zayd. Great graphics, videos, stuff like that. He does an awesome job. I am subscribed to his channel, and you should also be subscribed to his channel. All right. All right, Zay, let's see. What is your Twitter handle so I can send you the link? Is it at Zayd Comics? Whatever it is, just put it right there in the chat. And guys, whoever's in the stream, if you see these different artists and people with YouTube channels and stuff that are in the chat, putting their GGA Phil Pops, is that at GGA Phil Pops? All right. So
GGA Phil Pops.
Follow these guys on Twitter, gals, and yeah, man, give them some love. You know,
Philip Diaz.
At GGA Phil Pops. Let me go right in there real quick.
Followed.
Awesome. At GGAFILLPOPS. Phil Diaz getting some love. Boom. Let's get a message out to him. Bam. Paste. Boom. Done. All right. Well, so far, still waiting on Shade, but he's maybe having some technical difficulties
Right.
getting on. He was saying something about his connection not being the tightest, but hopefully Philip Diaz will be able to join us. That'll be awesome for a little bit here.
Right.
Maybe chat comics. There he is.
Hey, sorry about this. Gotta change my volume settings to my headphones.
Understood.
There we go. What's up, guys?
Hey, what's going on?
How's
What's
it
up?
going?
Dude, I love your stuff. That's
Thanks,
awesome.
man. Thanks. Just got home, made some salmon for myself.
Nice.
Hopped on. Yeah, man. I didn't know you subbed to my channel. Thanks, by the way. Your
Yeah.
art is killer. I love seeing the stuff you post for like when you do the draw alongs with like drawing quartered and stuff like that.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, so right
Yeah,
now
that's
I'm
awesome.
just doing some warm up sketch here. I'm doing Lone Wolf. And
Yeah, that looks awesome.
Yep.
yeah, man, nothing like a little zombie decapitation to get going.
Yeah, gotta get warmed
Who's
up.
who's coloring Lone Wolf?
Dude, I don't know, but there's something I like about that. Let me see if I can. How can I share that page? I'm not that good at this right now, but I'm not that tech savvy on it. But I've seen some of the coloring on some of the pages. I like it. It's got like a painterly
I
style.
think.
It's kind of
Let me
neat.
look it up here.
Yeah, I'm not the
Yeah, it
most.
kind of reminds me of like Slain, like Simon Bisley when he did Slain back in the day.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Yeah, it's like a rougher style. Kind of neat. Let me see if I can let's try and put it up here. Let's see. Let's see here. I'll put it up on my screen over here. Bam. All right, yeah, so you should be able to see it now. Yeah, so
That's awesome.
yeah, I love that, man. It's a nice color in there. Oh shoot, what did I do?
So are you doing like a fan piece for that?
Yeah, I'm just doing just like a little fan piece. It's like a warm up sketch. I got to work on my own book, but I like to get the juices flowing. So typically I'll instead of doing something where I'm drawing, a quote unquote well established character, man, I'll just draw some of these indie comics. Why
Oh
not?
yeah, definitely.
I did
Yeah.
a Stunt Girl live, and um, Good Dog Press saw that, and yeah, we become quick friends. He bought the original piece. He loved it so much, and all that. So yeah, it's all good.
Yeah,
That's
I
great.
remember he mentioned it.
Yeah, he's actually using it in his fan gallery for his book.
Yeah.
Who else is doing stuff like that? Is Simon, who's doing Bloodlust? He's doing that vampire book,
Mm-hmm.
and he's been doing a bunch of fan arts for a bunch of indie guys, trying to help them out, support. So that's great. I love that.
Cool. Yeah, I try to do that when I can. I've done a couple of Wanpu pieces. I've
Oh
done
yeah,
I've done some Sportman stuff.
That's Sportman. Awesome.
that's funny.
Yeah, I try to support as much of the indie comics. I mean, listen, I've been doing comics for 25 years. ish, and in that 25 years, it's it's been all independent comics, you know,
That's
which
Right.
the way to do it.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's just it's just what I've done, you know. I've done a little bit of you know, DC Comics work in the background, you know,
Yeah.
helping out with inking and stuff like that. But
Right.
you know, as far as my own projects, it's all mostly just been indie comics.
Right.
So Zayd, man, tell us
Yeah.
a little bit about yourself, man.
What's up?
What are you up to? What do you do? You know, let give people a heads up
Let the people know.
on your
All
channel,
right.
you know, what it is you're doing.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm Phil, and I'm part owner of Zaid Comics. I work with my brother. He's the artist, and I do all the writing. And right
Oh.
now, we're putting out a book called Magic Cop. So you can see the poster on my door, Magic Cop poster. That was actually drawn. That's going to be the cover for our graphic novel, drawn by Pablo Romero. Um, you guys might have
Oh,
saw him. He did some stuff with the Good Night, and he does that retro '80s
yeah,
art.
great.
So that's what basically Magic
Uh,
Cop is all about. It's basically if you took Miami Vice and mashed it with like Halloween Town. So there's monsters and magic
oh.
throughout the world, and that's just how it is. That's the norm of the world. But it's set in the fictional city of Ambrosia, which is like a another form of Miami.
Nice.
The coastal crime, super '80s, fast cars, hot beach babes, that stuff.
Mhm.
Um, and our main character is a magic cop who comes from a long line of magic cops. His name's Iggy, and the first graphic novel that we're launching in August is his first case on the job. So he has a new partner who's like a wolf man. There's a witch who's on the team. Her name's Helly. And yeah, it's the story's basically they're trying to figure out who murdered this mermaid hooker. So it's very '80s crime driven
Wow.
uh,
I love
fantasy.
that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then we started the YouTube channel about 2 or 3 months ago to build like a community and a fan base. So we've been just every Monday we do a weekly update about how the progress on the book is coming, and then in between then we put out like comic reviews and movie reviews and comic book news stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
great, man. Yeah. So I've watched a couple of the episodes. They're a lot of fun. You guys do a good job, and you can tell you guys are big fans. So that's always a good thing.
Thanks,
Dude,
man.
just
Yeah.
over your room is awesome. I love it. That logo
Yeah.
right there. I must find that both of those pieces
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah, man, this is my passion. So
Right.
writing and creating stories and characters is what I'm all about, and I'm so glad that the community is so supportive of like indie comics. And
Yeah.
I've been on John Malin's show talking about the book. I think we're going to go back on once it comes closer to that. And I actually met some of the guys, like I don't know if you guys know Billy Tucci, who's doing She.
Oh yeah,
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 Oh,
he was out at a convention last weekend in Chicago, and I was hanging out with him like at his table, and then we hung out for a little bit afterwards. I was showing him the book, and he's super supportive, and
that's great.
just he's all about indie creators getting out there
Hmm.
and creating, which is so great to have that support. He's
Yeah.
a
yeah.
really
Billy's
good guy.
great. I've known him for a while, and you know he was actually he was right there when the indie boom was kicking off in the early '90s and stuff like that. So with
Right.
Crusade, and I'm glad that you know I was talking to him about a month or so ago when he was in the midst of his zombie time. I was like, hey man, you really should bring back Crusade Publishing again. I see Shady is with us. What's up, Shady? You finally got in. Um, and yeah, so he was like, yeah, I'm thinking about him doing it. Then today he posted something that he's doing the She under the Crusade banner again.
Yeah, that's
So
great.
he's like, he's all hyped up because he's like in publisher mode again.
Yeah.
So
She
that's
was actually a good series.
Oh yeah, I read the first issue. I actually had the 25th anniversary edition, and I bought it from and I read it. It's super good. Like the art is crazy crisp. It's totally that '90s vibe with the story. I actually reviewed it. I did a review
Yeah, I was
on it
about
on
to
my
say,
channel.
let me just review that. If you guys haven't seen that review, it's a really solid review.
Thanks, man.
I really like the way you went through that page by page and just kind of like brought out the high points and the iconography and stuff like that of the character, and so it was really neat. I really appreciate it. That was a solid job on that. So let's say hi to Shay real quick. Shay, what's going on?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Yep.
you.
Yep.
Ah,
Yeah, you're light box right now, buddy. So do your
ah,
thing.
oh, well, I've been following you guys for like I don't know, like about a week or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, mostly because of Shinobi Ninja or whatever you call yourself now.
Oh, Shinobi Raccoon.
Yeah, no, because I saw some of your artwork, and that's how I ended up piggybacking and finding out Walpole and all them.
Yeah, nice. I
Oh,
appreciate it.
glad I
Yeah,
could help.
definitely. Definitely hit up Zay too if you haven't, and obviously Shinobi already hooked up with him. So yeah. So what are you up to? What are you working on? You got anything planned here? Is part of the indie comics explosion?
uh, well, basically, nah, I'm not like I don't think I'm up to that level just yet to do something like that. But what I am doing is like a little, I guess, mini webcomic series for like Twitter.
I respect that.
So it's just a little gags and jokes that I can come up with, and then
Mm.
anything that's interesting on Twitter.
Mm. Well,
That's fun.
there's a lot. Every day on Twitter is a different experience.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
Did you see Sweet Cat's post earlier? He said, I just went on. He said I was away from Twitter for a while. Just came in to check on, and I'm going back to work. Oh man.
Yeah. I don't know the stuff going on with like Doug and Cecil. Apparently they
Yeah,
hate each
I
other
was.
now.
Yeah, I was
I,
like,
I
what's
stepped
going
away
on
for a
there?
second and was like, what? What happened?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I was like, what the heck? And then the whole thing with Ethan and freaking Mike, I was like, dude, what the heck is going on here, man?
Yeah.
Jeez, chill out with that shit.
I know.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, so that hey, listen, whatever, dude, looks like they might have hashed that out a little bit, but
I hope so.
yeah, it's just
Yeah.
nothing now. Freaking Doug and freaking Cecil, like they're just, you know, whatever, man.
Yeah.
Cecil he's an interesting dude, man, because he's a particular flavor, man. You either like him or you don't.
Yep.
The dude's generally funny, that's quite appealing, and uh, but hey, he's got an opinion, and so does everyone else. I mean, hey, they're trying to the whole thing with Doug saying, "Oh, he's anti-Christian," whatever. I mean, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, I'm a Christian, but I respect people's opinions, whatever it is that they say.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure there's Christians that would look at the stuff that I do, like, man, you're a sinner. You freaking draw half-naked women. How can you love Jesus and all that? No, dude, I don't know, man. God gave me the gifts. I'm just using them,
Yeah.
not hurting
Been there.
anybody, just doing my thing.
Right. Not to mention, nobody ever criticizes Michelangelo or
Yeah.
Leonardo, and how many art pieces they have that have nude people in them.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, my stuff's art.
Did you see Billy's actually thinking about doing a nude variant cover for the next She book. He
Dude,
tweeted that out today.
yeah. He said, what is he, he's talking about, what is he? He said he wanted to make it available at conventions and stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I was like, dude, you should save that for a pledge level.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It would work out better, and then you can have it available at conventions after the campaign is funded.
Yeah, he draws the sexiest chicks, man.
Oh, dude,
I saw
yeah.
he had the she and Lady Death
I
cover
already
cover.
told
He had that at the convention with
I'm
him. I'm
gonna
like,
ink
man,
that. He said it's not done yet. I said I don't care. I'm gonna ink it. So I'm gonna get the blue lines and ink that up for him real good. Dude, that's how I started in comics as an inker. You know, whatever. I can ink
oh
my
yeah,
ass. So anyone that needs an inker, I'm always available.
Right.
awesome.
I see. Let's see. So Lady Celtic wants to know who we have in here now. All right. So Lady Celtic, we have Zaid Comics. Okay. Philip Diaz is in here. We have Shady Deeds. All right. Shady Deeds is in here. And obviously Shinobi, Raccoon, and you have El, myself, El Guapo. Just making things beautiful, bringing beautiful people together. We're all beautiful. We all love comics.
We do. Except I don't have anything any art to do because I'm not an artist.
Well,
Okay.
writing is an art, brother.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's an art. But yeah, all right. I'm gonna start inking this real quick here. See what we come up with.
Nice.
Put some lines down. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's no good here. Need to open up a new layer. All right. Yeah. So what do you have? Let's see. So let me ask you a question. And so Shinobi is going to be putting his book out, and he's in the process of world building.
All right.
So I myself have done some world building with my characters that I'm putting out here, but I've already kind of given my spiel on that. Is there anything that you did that kind of helped you as you were uh, world building that you might want to share with the audience at all?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think with any character, unless it's just like a one-off character, you need to do some type of world building, and just to get that person's personality across, how they fit into that world. For Magic Cop, it actually started. The idea was going to be a arcade game. It was going to be a side-scrolling beat 'em up. So when I was creating the characters for it, I was creating like big iconic boss characters that they'd fight. And then when we switched it over to a comic book, it kind of just fell into place. So my world is of two separate realms, basically. You have like the world we live in from the 80s, and then a fantasy world. So yeah, you got to go and start building your world. What kind of architecture you want, especially with my book. We talked about this in our last update. My brother, who's the artist, he takes architecture designs from more of medieval, classic European times or the Gothic periods and mixes it with more modern buildings. So you have a cohesiveness in these two different designs. So even if you're talking about characters or literally the world around the characters of the setting, all of that is really important. So yeah, I'd say you it's kind of like when you're brainstorming, right?
Mhm.
What I do is jot down some notes while I'm doing that and building my characters. And as a writer, um, I also letter my stuff too, so
Right.
that helps me give an extra step and more time to edit my material on the fly because you've looked at the material so much. Like I do a plot and then I do a script, and then my script for the whole book is done right now. It's 88 pages, and then when I go back and letter it, um, and send the script over to either if I'm sending it to my brother or in the lettering stage, I can edit on the fly too. So that's kind of my process of it.
Oh.
So that's neat. I like the actual forethought that you're just not creating a world out of your imagination, which is perfectly fine. But the fact that you're blending in modern architecture with medieval architecture to kind of create its own unique look, but also familiar to whoever
Right.
sees it.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. So so the characters, what made you choose medieval architecture as kind of like a basis or a foundation of what you're going to be using in the architecture? What
Well,
was
let
the
me see.
yeah,
I could give an example of that. So we wanted to stick with that magic theme, right? So the main character is basically a wizard, and wizards are prominent in the European, like British, medieval, Merlin, stuff like that.
Right.
So it's not solely like castle stuff. There's actually a part of the world where it has like Japanese or um, like influences, kind of like Chinatown.
Mm-hmm.
So there will be different Japanese monsters in there that live in that area, and then we just because I'm a huge fan of mythology and I love to
Right.
explore mythology in my writing, so I like to have an eclectic mythology throughout the world that I'm working with.
Fair
So
enough.
let me pull up an image here
So they're
from.
gonna.
all right, so let me go ahead and light box you so you can show us though.
All right. Where's the one? Back here.
All right, so your light box right now.
All right.
So one of the while you're doing that, one of the things about my channel that I want to do is that I really want it to be kind of like a virtual studio. I talked to EOTs about this and Manny from Good Dog, that people that I have in, I want them to be able to just bring something to the table, whether it's a question or whether it's something that they want to share, kind of like in the studio situation that I was in years ago with the illustration studios in Connecticut. It was a fantasy art studio, and dude, I learned so much there. Just being next to other artists, watching them draw. Watching them trying to figure things out, and slamming their head against the desk and saying, "This sucks," and at the
Yeah.
same time, just to be able to get that feedback, and that's what I'm trying to do here with this channel, and so yeah, all right, so I
Right.
see what you got here. Okay, this is cool. I'm digging this.
Yeah, this is the title page of the 12-page short story we put out on our website for our mailing list. So you could see here, the issue is totally free. It's kind of like a trailer for Magic Cop. And my brother incorporates, like I said, you have like this big turret as you'd see on a castle and kind of like the top of the castle walls, but it's a warehouse. It's got a garage door, a modern garage door, and Magic Cop's car, which we call the Unicorn. It's like that Miami's Vice 1980s Ferrari type style, but it's, he designed it himself. It's got little horseshoes for good luck on the tires. We have Grey Wolf over here, who's his partner, close to retirement, and Ignatius
Oh.
Cromwell, who's our
Uh.
town Magic Cop.
Kind of reminds me of McGruff the crime dog.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, definitely.
Maybe it's a trench coat.
Yeah, definitely. We actually based him off of there's this old movie with Chuck Norris called Sidekicks. I don't know if you guys seen that.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that film.
Yeah, so the kid in Sidekicks, he has these daydreams of hanging out with Chuck Norris, and there's a scene where they're dressed up like one of Chuck Norris's movie called Hitman, and they're basically in this. They have mullets, long hair, and trench coats and shotguns.
Right.
So yeah, so it's pulling everything that we love from the '80s and big fantasy sword and sorceries.
Yeah.
Now,
I just love that
that's
era storytelling.
I'm seeing your face here. You obviously weren't born in the '80s.
Right. I was not.
Yeah, you're like a huge fan, so I can dig that, man. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And you can see the colors.
About the '80s for you.
What's that?
What's so fascinating about the '80s for you?
Well, specifically with Miami Vice, the aesthetic, because on the show, they basically made the aesthetic for the whole, 10 years. This this show that you could watch interviews with Don Johnson. He was saying, like, we had to dress like that because of out of necessity. It was so hot on set that I had to wear this, suit jacket, but with sleeveless shirt underneath, or I'd be sweating profusely, and then the loafers with no socks, so that super vibrant colors, and yeah, we really wanted to hit home with all that. Here, these are some of the Japanese bad guys, like Kabuki demons,
Nice.
as you could see. And
don't miss this.
Yeah.
and actually, the colorist is I did see that on Twitter. My colorist is coloring Lone Wolf.
Oh,
I thought I recognized the coloring
I
style.
dig it.
And it's you could see that his style is pretty different in here than he is doing for Lone Wolf. Like, he does the more painting
Right.
style for that. He's a great
Yeah.
colorist. You can find him on Twitter. His name's Vegas Day Real. His name's Eugene. He's from Moldova. He's coloring my second page right now.
Yeah, I thought I recognized the coloring work.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He's also coloring that other one, that other book that just went up. Hero.
Oh yeah.
That one. Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah, I was gonna do a stream on that, but that was already done, so I didn't wanna. That was
one of my favorite panels. He turns this guy to glass. It's awesome. Super happy with that. Yeah, so like thinking of, especially with this one, I needed a lot of world building, setting up the characters and the bad guys and making it seem like they could all fit together and that it's normal for them. So yeah.
Yeah.
Really cool. Really cool.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, good stuff, man. Good stuff. Hey, man, I'm always excited to see, people do their thing, man, for sure.
Yeah. This year has been great for me. I was earlier. I was on Pixel Trader's stream just for a little bit, and talking about getting things done. Like last year, I was working with an artist who was a close friend of mine, and he wasn't really motivated and was flaking out on me. And then the beginning of this year, I'm just like, screw it. I'm gonna pay someone that wants to do this, that this is their passion, they're motivated. So, my brother and my brother really started grinding on drawing more and getting the confidence up to do this with me. And right now I'm working with some other artists. I'm working with the artist of Jack Iron's Steel Cowboy. He did a 4-page story for me for my next IP project that's gonna probably launch at the end of the year. And I've just been writing like every day, and it's the best feeling. It is so fun.
Yeah, there's no better high, man. I'll be honest. It's like when especially when you're working, like you're in that zone, and we're talking about this the other night with Edwin Boyette, and not it's not just athletes, but creative types get in that zone, man. It's just like time flows by, and you're just hitting on all cylinders, and when you look back at it, it's like, holy crap, I just did that for real.
It's great. This is a cover here that we're going to have in the next in the book. It's going to be 4 chapters, and this is one of the 4 covers for the book.
So this is the mermaid that was murdered?
No. This is actually, she's like a Gorgon. She's like Medusa.
Oh.
Yeah. So
no wonder she's dressed kind of like a serpent.
Yeah. That's so she is the head of the prostitution ring. She's like the head madam. Her name's Madam Sith. And she employs these mermaids that get shipped to the city from an island, and then they have surgery to get their legs so they could walk. And then they turn into hookers, and she sends them out. So she's kind of like the first bad guy we see in the book.
Right.
Yeah, and this is the cover for that one. Kind of wanted to make it like surreal and James Bondy with this cover of Magic Cop falling into the water. Pretty cool.
I like the way that water is colored. It looks amazing.
Yeah, he killed it.
Yeah, that's a really nice flow right there. I really listen. You guys, yeah, I'm just gonna light box this again real quick, just so you see this color that they're using here, guys. So you guys, you guys are doing 80s exactly how 80s should be done. So it's not
Yeah.
just the design, the way the characters
Right.
look, but these
Right.
colors here, especially in that water, those are such 80s colors.
Hell yeah, man. Yep.
That is
Yeah.
that like Miami Vice right there.
Yeah.
Right.
Thanks.
So I'm gonna light box Shady for a bit here. He looks like he's drawing something over there. Shady, are you still with us? Nice. Dude, that cat is killing me right now. Oh my gosh, that is so funny. What is wrong with that cat? That cat is awesome, dude.
Those eyes.
Those eyes are killing me, man. That's freaking amazing. I love that. Shady. Shady's not much of a talker.
He's working.
He's work. I know. Hey, listen, I'm over here blabbering. I should be doing this warm up sketch. I'm trying to finish this in the next
Hey,
40
can you hear
minutes.
me now?
Yeah, we got you.
I think he's participating.
Yeah. We were
I-
admiring your work.
No, my mic cut off for some reason. I don't know.
Oh.
But yeah, I had this cap for like I designed this cap for a friend for an avatar way back when, and she goes like, "Don't make the cat silly." And well, I threw that idea out the window.
That is great. I love that cat.
So and this is back actually like the little first episode of my I guess what you could say my avatar messing with other Twitter avatars, and the cat will always be with me.
So yeah, wherever that cat's gonna show up in all your stuff, huh?
Well, I figured it'll be funny that it'll be the voice of reason, although it says nothing but meow. And then my character will actually start, arguing with the cat. And I'm sorry, Shinobi, but I picked your character for the first issue or the first panel.
You-
Yeah, I did. It's your fault, to be honest.
So Shady, listen, what I got here. So like I said, we're all about sharing and stuff here. So let me ask you a question. So you're a cartoonist. Your deal is gags and stuff like that. Okay, cartoonist. Um, so when you're thinking of doing your cartoon, what comes first? Is it the drawing idea that comes first, or is it the gag that comes first, and then you put the drawing around it?
I'll be honest, it's a little bit of both. Uh, for this particular this one, I remember Shinobi doing these comics that was like versus Comic Skaters, I think it was.
Yeah. Those were a hit.
And then I went like, what would happen if my character got involved in that? And I went like, well, of course I'm insignificant, so I need to antagonize Shinobi's character somehow. So I purposely made my character a pervert,
That works.
and that's panel one.
Okay.
Ah, yes, where she's taking off her costume. Well, putting it on and
Yeah, I used that image you had as like a reference, and then I just drew my own.
oh.
So the cat's trying to convince me not to fuck around. Oh, excuse my language.
We're at PG plus.
Yeah.
PG
I
13
think
plus.
yeah. I think
Well-
El Guapo's sworn a few times already, so
Well, here's the thing. I view it this way: you could be PG-13, but if I start talking, I throw f bombs like commas. You're gonna become rated R real quick. So I gotta keep myself in check.
Okay, so let's okay to get this out of the way. El Guapo, are you monetized at this moment?
No, not yet. Still working on that. Hoping to get this audience built up. I mean, but it doesn't help when I got 2 watching. I got more people.
I tweeted it out, bro.
Okay, swear away.
Yeah, but it's all good. It's all good.
but yeah, so I figured since I already figured that Shinobi's character is gonna kick my ass anyway, I'm just gonna have basically the gag having the cat trying to tell me not to peep, and I'm going like, no, nothing's bad's gonna happen, and then, well, in the final page, you're gonna see Shinobi's character coming right for my character, but I think I'll cut it off right there with like I guess you're going with like a Wolverine style with the 2 swords in the 2 claws per hand.
Yeah.
So
All right, I dig it. So your humor, okay? Is it based more or less on your demented, twisted mind, or on just things that you just find particularly funny, or is it one and the same?
I one and the same because that's what I came up with this one. The next issue I'm thinking is messing with weaponized nerd rage. I don't know if you guys know that guy.
Yeah.
But there was a joke way back when on his stream, or a funny incident, which I probably messed with him about it today since he was talking about getting a shotgun because of zombie snakes. So I sent him an image of a ceiling patch up because he was talking about a story where he accidentally shot the ceiling at a shooting range. So that was his story, and I'm just gonna keep using that as a gag to mess with him about it. So that's something that I didn't come up with. So that was just something he told me, and I'm just adding more into that. So it's a little bit like whatever happens in real life plus whatever my sick, demented mind can come up with.
Nice.
Understandable.
No, that's cool. Not everyone can. There are a lot of people that are funny, but not too many people that can do gags like that. So, that's always good. Laughter is a good thing. Uh,
Yes, it is.
so good medicine for the soul.
Yeah, I always enjoy making people laugh, but in like retail and stuff like that, where you don't really expect it. But and they always tell me I should do stand up, and I'm going like, I rather do sit down comedy, standing up for an hour. No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not for the faint of heart. That's for sure.
I mean, you think of it this way: everybody's there enjoying the show, and I'm there working, and everyone's laughing except me.
Right.
I know. I hear you. Be in the audience, not.
Hmm.
Yeah. No, I dig that. All right. So, how long have you been drawing and cartooning? What is that something you've just always been doing, as or
Uh,
or did your gags necessitate you drawing?
um. Well, to be honest, the gags came later. I was actually a very. This is damn. I started drawing way back, like in '97. Because Dragon Ball was just started hitting in the U.S. at the time because of Toonami.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know what it was called because I saw it in like Guatemala when I was visiting the family over there in Spanish, and I thought it was like the coolest thing I ever saw. It was they were playing the original Goku versus Vegeta,
Ah.
and I thought it was funny as hell. If you hear it in Japanese, it sounds badass. You hear it in English, it sounds pretty good. But hear it in Spanish, the voice is almost out of sync.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
it was
I
like
think-
funny and badass at the same time.
Yeah. In Maryland, they did. There was a Spanish station that featured those episodes late at night. Except when I caught them, they were already at the Frieza saga. I think they played the original background music too.
Yeah, they would actually keep the original one, so you hear the trumpets and whatnot
Right.
instead of the power guitars that we had.
Right.
So so ever since then, I kept. That's when I even started drawing. I try to draw, but well, I was young and drawing looked messed up, so I started tracing to start like trying to get the idea of how to draw the character.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, then I could draw it all right. But you know, but then later on, it just like I try to draw seriously, but it never came out seriously. So instead, I focus more of goofing around rather than drawing like for a serious type thing. And later on, I just developed a sense of humor with that and just kept at it.
Nice. Yeah, Philip tried drawing, and then he said that my drawings look like letters, so I'm just gonna letter instead.
True.
Mm.
True.
True.
Uh, I remember my first drawing. I showed it to my mom, and then she showed it to my dad, and then they took me to the hospital to see if something was wrong. That if I didn't pay enough attention to them or something.
Uh,
To
no
this
need.
day, my first drawing is on the refrigerator of scientists trying to figure out what mental disease did he have when he drew this.
No need to argue, parents. Just don't understand.
So let's see. Let me go back to Phil. What new videos are you working on, looking to put out? Any ideas? I know you do, like you said, you do some pop culture stuff, and
Yeah, sure.
so let me. Speaking of pop culture, I mean, I think we're all pretty much into that. Is there anything that you've seen recently in pop culture that you would recommend to us? Something that's maybe a little bit outside of the norm, something that you've checked out that you said, you know what, I think people should check this out. I have something that I'm definitely going to bring up, but I want to see what the panel has to say here, starting with you.
All right. On the topic of comics, I'm a huge comic fan, and one of my favorite characters is, I don't know if you can see him, Swamp Thing. So if you guys do not have the DC Universe streaming service, the first two episodes of Swamp Thing just came out. The third one's going to come out this Friday, and it is amazing. If you guys are a fan of Alan Moore's run from the 80s, it kills it. They've spent $85 million on this series on 10 episodes. And unfortunately, they're not getting a second season because they spent too much money on the first season and didn't get enough taxes back from North Carolina where they shot it. So it's
Right.
so unfortunate. But the effects, the practical effects, and even the CG is really, really good, telling some great stories and horror taken from comics put onto the TV screen. So definitely check that out.
Yeah, I actually checked out the first episode, and be honest with you, I was very amazed at how well done it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, really, that's actually a great series that you just mentioned there.
Yeah.
That I really hope that it gets picked up somewhere. I think I mentioned to someone that I don't know if DC is doing this streaming thing right, but if I were them, I would go back to Netflix because they used to have all that WB stuff on there. And I
Right.
would say, listen, you guys worry about the streaming stuff. We're just going to make these shows, put them on your platform. Marvel already pulled all their stuff off of Netflix. It just, to me, it just makes sense for them to do something.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so Shinobi, what do
Uh,
you got? What do you got to share here? Anything in pop culture, whether it's comics, movies?
well, I do have well, if you haven't already, there's this comic called "A Natural" by America and Dolfo. It's about it's this world where it's run by anthropomorphic animals, but apparently interspecies. It needless to say, it's like hard. It has like a hard right wing ring political influence. The world anyway, and basically, like you have to have both set only members of the opposite sex can marry. You can only marry people within your own species.
Ooh.
But the best thing, the best thing about it is there's that it builds it. She does a good job in building the world, building this world. It's not. She's not. She's not really. She's not. It's done in a way where the politics are not forced, but and it takes a backseat to the story because it follows the story of this anthropomorphic female pig named Leslie, and she's been having these weird dreams involving a wolf. And
She's also super hot.
yes, so you know you've read it. Then.
Where do you find this show?
Well, you can go to your it's
In every
at your
bookshelf, comic shop.
Not to mention volume 1 and 2 of the trade paperbacks are available, and you can get those you should be able to get those at your local comic book shop, or if you can't get the trades there, you can get them off Image Comics website.
Mm-hmm.
Best thing I've read in a while.
Yeah, the artist Mirka Andolfo, she's such a good artist, and she's not afraid to draw sexy chicks, which is awesome.
Yes.
And she posts all the time on Twitter. I follow her. She's crazy, awesome artist.
Yeah, she's really nice.
That's an image, right?
Yeah, she's really nice too. I compliment her all the time, and she likes all my comments and thanks me.
Is she also hot?
I have no idea. I have not seen a picture of her.
Me neither.
I've seen TV Choice. She's pretty good looking for her. You know who that is?
Yeah, I do not.
She does a lot of like concept art and stuff like that. She's got a big Twitch channel.
That's cool.
Pretty huge. But all right, so let's see. We got Shady. Anything that you have as a recommend?
Well, I've been enjoying right now. I think we all talked about it before. Doomsday Clock.
Okay.
From DC, the event. Although it's taking forever for every other issue.
Yeah.
But it kind of kills the momentum. But I kind of waited when I saw the first issue, and I'm just catching up now. I'm already all caught up with it, the issues, and kept them in nice. But I mean, I think it's one of their best works, for the exception of Metal, and that was awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I noticed something, when it comes to the comic books, I see DC when they're doing their events recently, their events are way better than whatever Marvel comes up in their comics. But when it comes to movies, DC's getting their ass handed back. But
yeah. Well, the part of that I think is Jeff Johns. He's just such a good writer, and everything he touches over at DC, it's just good. Like his Shazam monthly right now is great. So good.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's one of the that's one of the books from DC that I haven't dropped off on my pull list yet.
Oh, that's awesome to hear that you guys have pull lists.
Yeah, I mean, I still read. I don't have any Marvel. I've never really been into Marvel. Besides, I have some trades. I really like the Uncanny X-Force of the Remender series. All the stuff I'm into is Marvel or indie stuff, or DC or indie stuff. Sorry.
Yeah. The only thing Marvel I'm really reading is Captain America and Daredevil.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. So I've been with my comic stuff. I don't spend the money like I used to on it, but I try to stay independent. I finally went out and grabbed all of the Hellboy the trades collected in chronological order, which I like the way that Dark Horse put that out. So even though it's out of sequence as far as how it came out, it's chronologically in order. So I've gotten to read, the whole story, as one full epic thing. You know, the next thing would be to do the BPRD stuff,
Yeah.
and then I've picked up stuff like Black Sad, Day Trippers,
Wow.
Umbrella Academy,
Yeah.
uh, things like that. That you know, I I like. Unfortunately, I used to do a lot of Marvel stuff, but they've kind of gotten off the rails quite a bit. So I don't even recognize a lot of what's
Right.
going on there. So I've gotten away from that. Um, as far as comic wise, Black Sad was probably like the last thing that I picked up, and it's been out for a while, obviously. But holy crap, dude! Just amazing. Just
Right.
that art in there
Yeah.
alone just blows you away. You just sit there and just look at it all day. It's just so well done. And the story is really great too. It's definitely noir style detective crime story with animals instead of people, and it's just like it's just so well done. It's just epic. I did
Yeah.
see recently on Netflix they had this movie called Demented. I thought it was like a martial arts flick. Ended
Right.
up being a subtitled Korean film about zombies, but they call them demons in this.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there watching this thing, and thinking, well, at some point it's gonna get hokey, dude. 2 hours later, at the end of that movie, I was like, "Holy cow, this movie is really good." I mean, the hero had a great arc from beginning to end, and just the way that they developed the characters,
Hmm.
the acting was amazing. I mean, in a language I couldn't understand. I'm reading, and at one point it was just like, all right, I'm not even reading this anymore. I'm just gonna follow these actors because I almost don't even need to read it. And
Yeah.
yeah, so it's on. If you guys get a chance to watch that, it's really good if you're into that sort of thing. But that I would give that a good recommend.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I'm a huge Hellboy fan. So like I have the big library editions, which are awesome. And those are big influences on me. For one of my characters that I have is a immortal sorcerer who lives throughout time. So I could throw him into any time that I want. I listened to a Mignola interview, and he's like, "Yeah, Hellboy is just a tool for me to come up with any story that I want. And if I have like some monster who's like a squid monster that I want to draw, Hellboy could always,
Right.
kick his butt." So
Right.
I think having a character where you could put him into any situation is really good, and Hellboy's perfect for that. And then my sorcerer character, his name's Wildcard. Since he lives through all time, I could throw him, in the 1600s fighting werewolves if I wanted to, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's cool to have a character that can fit in any, almost any setting.
Yeah, it's like the Swiss Army knife of characters.
yeah, that's awesome. So uh, let me see. The book that I'm working on now, Chango. Some of the art is kind of like it's a neo Mignola-ish style. Let me see if I can pull up a couple of the pages that I can show you here. So here is here's a pinup image. Okay.
Ooh, dude, that shadowing's awesome.
Yeah. So that right there that's the Mignola-ish vibe that I'm going.
Very, yeah, I dig it.
See if I can. I got a couple other pieces here. And then this one would be. Da, da, da. Yeah, here we go. Oh, this file's a little bit bigger, so it's taking some time. Okay, so this is a colored image. Now, the guy that I got to do the colors for this book, his name is Jason Smith, and I said, dude, can you color in that Dave Stewart style, like Hellboy? And he said, dude, he's like one of my heroes. So, I mean, look at this piece, man. This is
Yeah, that's really cool.
freaking did a killer job on coloring this, you know. And so this right here is that Magnolia-ish style. It's not quite there. It's a little bit more modernized, but you know, this is more or less the look that's in the book.
Man, I see it. I see it right just to the layout of characters. You have that tree in the background, the little hill, the stone stuff in the background for no reason. Like that's Magnolia, you know. I love that.
Yeah,
Did a really good job with that.
yeah. Thanks. And let me see if I got one more. Now here's this one. This one's interesting. So can you see the Magnolia influence in this, even though it's a lot more modern, a lot more like in cities and stuff like that.
I would say with the architecture in the panel too, yeah, with focusing, have the panel focus on that, which you don't see a lot in comics, especially now. No one wants to draw architecture, you know.
Yeah. We barely get any background in comics nowadays.
I know everyone's using
Yeah.
Google SketchUp too, which is kind of annoying to me if you ask me.
Adding putting backgrounds in your panels gives a sense of, oh, this is an actual place as opposed to I'm sitting in subspace having coffee.
You know how they are now. They're lazy.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I'm an old school artist. You know, I still believe in putting down perspective lines and
Right.
doing all my grids and everything like that. You know, no computer programs here. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm bad at backgrounds, but I still try.
Oh yeah, I mean, you're not going to learn to draw anything unless you actually do it. You know, I mean,
Yep.
that's a
That's
whole.
a given.
You know, that's why I respect that. You know, I mean, someone say, "Oh, that's not very well drawn," you know, but at least you can say to yourself, "Well, damn, I put the effort into that. I actually drew it. What did you do? You know, if we can just trace over something, you know."
Right.
So, I see that. I see that. So you can always tell when something's traced.
Yeah.
Every time you can
Or
tell when
yeah.
it's traced, you know.
Or I took this drawing that somebody else did and rearranged the colors in MS Paint.
Oh yeah, that's pretty pathetic. But you know, listen, it is what it is. You know, I mean, you know, I have a friend of mine who's Shannon Gallen. He actually did a lot of the GI Joe books and stuff for IDW for a
Oh.
while there, and you know, he used to do that. You know, and he would trace some things, but he didn't do it on everything. You know what I mean? Because the guy
Right.
could draw. You know, he's a good artist. But you know, one of the
Right.
things he said, listen, you know, drawing comics is it's a commercial business, and sometimes
Yeah.
you have to cut corners in order to meet deadlines and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So you
That's
know,
understandable.
yeah, it's important, you know, especially if you're an artist. You know, not taking anything away from writers, but you know, we know that you know it's a lot easier to write. You know, it really is. You know,
Yeah.
you write, you know, draw a really cool city
Takes less
with a
time.
majestic battle going on in the streets. That's what
Right.
like the artists have to draw that, which is fine. Some some writers are really good and they go overboard, like you know Grant Morrison and
Mm-hmm.
Alan Moore, who sit there and actually do all the little sketches. It was I was watching a interview with Grant Morrison,
Mm-hmm.
and I forget the book that it was that he was working with Frank Quitely, where he actually handed Frank Quitely like these about 40% done layouts for the pages and stuff. It's like, well, this is kind of like what I'm looking for, but you know, you do what you know, you can do what you want, but this is kind of more or less where I'm going, you know.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, whatever, dude. Why don't you just draw the comic yourself? But anyway, Frank Whiteley's a pro, you know, he freaking killed it, of course. I
Right.
think it was that book with the animals or something like that. They were like robots or some weird thing. I forget exactly how it was. I have the comic here somewhere. Um, but like the comics in the comic there was a dog and a cat, and they had like cybernetics or some crazy thing like that. I don't know. It was kind of out there. It was really violent too.
Yeah, well, like Alan Moore and Grant Morrison both started as artists doing their own strips, and then they just eased into writing. And I think that's why Grant Morrison does a lot of like thumbnail layouts. He'll see, like I've seen interviews with him also, and he has like little notebooks, and he'll basically do thumbnails for the pages he wants or the scenes and how he wants it set up. And then like you have other artists like Keith Giffen, who also would write. I'm a huge Lobo fan, and he did a lot of he was a co-creator of Lobo, and he did a lot of Lobo with Simon Bisley at the same time. So he would do basically like the plot summaries, and then Alan Grant would dialogue it, and then on some books, Giffen even did the layouts for him, as another artist would come in and do the rest of the pages. You know.
Have you ever? I got a chance. It's funny you should say Keith Giffen. I got a chance to see original Keith Giffen layouts,
Yeah.
and I forget the book that it was that he was working on. I think it was Ambush Bug or something. He
Yeah.
had this one page. I don't know. It must have had like 16 panels on it or something crazy. I was like, holy crap! But it
Yeah.
was so cool because every single panel, um, you can see exactly what was going on, and it was neat because he had this like distinct pencil chisel style.
Right.
It would be like a bloop of gray, and then it would be like a line coming off of it connecting to like another bloop of gray, and like
Yeah.
it all worked together, and it like made a shape, and it was like, oh, I know what that is. That's someone's head, or that's someone diving into another person, and yeah, it's just really interesting to see that sort of thing.
Yeah. He's a pretty like his comedy stuff with Lobo is a pretty big influence for me. Like I love how just the attitude with Lobo. He's he's awesome. Such a badass.
Yeah.
And just Bisley's art along with that. I
Oh
was
yeah.
just last night. I was flipping through some of the first miniseries, and just Bisley's known for a lot of his painting and stuff like that, and his beautiful painted covers. But his line work in like 1990 with that first miniseries was so killer, and how he cast shadows on Lobo to make him look menacing. Oh, it's
Yeah. And
so powerful.
that's a great point. A lot of that obviously comes out because of his influence as his painter influence. So he knows how to use tone and that sort of thing. So yeah, that's all great stuff.
Definitely.
Yeah. But I tell you, isn't that awesome? You're right. We're talking about all these cool things that were made like 20, 30 years ago. And then
Right.
you see that cool stuff again. It's just what a different time.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And it's like with my next project that I'm doing, it's called The Lost Pages, and it's kind of like an exploration of the comic genre. It has multiple stories dealing with different characters of my own that live in one universe, but they all explore a different genre of comics. And it's kind of like an exercise for me as a writer to kind of like flex my muscles on writing different genres, whether it be horror or vigilante or like superhero, fantasy, stuff like that.
Right.
So one of the characters has like the attitude of that like ultra violence, big hulking character, but it has a contrast with where he lives in the mind of a young girl. Like she's probably like in her mid 20s, but have that two sides to it. And then I have another one that's very like 90s um, badass babe, kind of like, the long lines of She.
Hmm.
So just exploring like that book's going to be all about exploring um, different looks at the genre of comics, or the medium, I should say. So that's going to be lots of fun.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if I should hire different artists for those genres. Um, or use one artist, because I could really make it like if I did do multiple artists, I could have like the totally different styles, So if I want that 90s, Spawn-esque style with more of a and then the next story is more of a modern. It's not really sure yet.
Well, you know what could work almost is if you had an artist that could draw in all these different styles,
Yeah,
Right.
be mirroring what you're doing with your writing.
right.
He or she. I don't want to exclude female artists because that's there's amazing female artists out there.
Yeah.
But he or she could be doing the same exercise with you. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
here's me drawing in this Alan Davis style from Judge Dredd, or this Bernie Wrightson style, or that sort of thing. So you definitely have to have the right kind of artist, one that is capable of pulling those styles off. But that's kind of hard. I mean, but
Yeah, definitely.
I think it would definitely.
That
I
is hard.
concept. It's a really cool concept.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about that one. I have, like I said, that short story with the Maxi Dallo is his name. He's from Argentina, who does the Steel Cowboy. That came out awesome. I actually sent that into Alterna Comics to see if it could get into one of their anthologies. They do like that bi-monthly anthology.
Yeah.
And then Kyle Ritter, who's coloring Cyberfrog, he's going to be coloring that 4 pages for me. So I'm super excited to see that.
Oh, dude, he's freaking amazing, man.
Yeah, he's great.
Everybody. He's like Eric Weathering everybody.
Yeah. So I'm super excited for those stories. I just finished a 4-page story, scripting it out last night for a different character who's kind of like my campy Batman 66 character, where like the villains are very theatric. So that's kind of a genre I wanted to explore also. But yeah.
Oh, that's cool. So speaking of Batman, can someone explain to me if this is a real thing or if this is just some kind of weird spoof that they're trying to get? But the Rainbow Pride Batman, is that like a legit thing for San Diego Comic Con, or is that just someone being funny?
I hope not.
It's I wouldn't doubt it that it's a real thing.
It looks hilarious.
I haven't seen it.
He's got his Rainbow Pride bat suit on, his big.
Oh gosh.
Is it just rainbow color?
Hilarious. You haven't seen this thing yet. It's out there, man. Oh my gosh, so funny.
I mean, he's had some crazy suits. You go back to the the Silver Age, Golden Age stuff.
Yes.
He had that like zebra suit and his Arctic suit.
I kind of missed that about Batman. Yeah.
And what was that Batman with the whole? And what was that Batman with the whole purple and with the purple cow?
Yeah, it's when he went crazy. It has a weird name. It's like
Crazier.
Zarok or something. I don't know. It's like went crazy. I remember that.
I guess, yeah. I mean, I guess given there's that version of Batman, it's not the weirdest. I think a Rainbow Bright style Batman isn't the weirdest thing on the planet.
Hey guys, let me just answer some. Let me get in this chat real quick. I kind of neglected it while we are just jamming away over here. So let's see. We got the Adrian T was asking what I'm drawing, but Philip already took care of that. Let him know I was drawing that. We got Cross Comics came in here poking people. That's still a thing apparently. And let me see something about a self-paced character and coffee. I don't get that.
I think it was referencing my subspace and coffee comment from earlier.
Oh, okay, all right, I get it now. All right, let me see. We got Grant Morrison draws all his comics according to his interview on Fat Man on Batman. Yes, and I think that's where that's the one that was a long episode. It's like almost 4 hours or something like that. And the whole time, your boy Andy's freaking just doing everything but ejaculating in the pants. It was insane. I loved it. He was like such fanboying so hard. Let me see. Scott Schmear is giving me a raised hand. It's either Heil Hitler or he's worshiping. I'm not quite sure. And then no, I'm just saying that, Scott. I'm just kidding. You're not a Nazi. Love you, dude. I got Lady Celtic. Something about no thanking. I'm not quite sure. Then we got Cross Comics. They did use the J word. What was it? Did I use the J? What's the J word? Lady Celtic says I use the J word. I don't know whatever that means.
Yeah, what J word?
I don't know what the J word is. The J word. What letter is next to J on the N?
K?
Maybe it's N. J.
Jake?
J. Not getting it.
Oh,
Okay.
yo, Caesar, I seen your she on your Instagram. That's awesome. You drew she.
Oh yeah, I did.
Oh.
Yeah. Thanks. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
love
really
that
cool.
character, man. It's really cool. So
Yeah.
and I'm hoping to post uh, that inked up she Lady Death cover at some point here. But obviously I got to work on my book first. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm all caught up here. All right, cool. And it looks like we're up to 4. We were at 5, but somebody bailed out on me. Hopefully it wasn't Scott. Sorry, Scott. But yeah, so I'm almost done with this sketch here. I'm gonna keep it nice and tight here while I add my last little sketch lines in here. And then what we'll do is we're gonna end the stream right here because I think we've been on for some time. And
not to mention ERT's just started his.
yeah, so I'm gonna I want to give him some love also. He's been a good guy, good supporter of my work and that sort of thing. So I don't want to monopolize his time slot too much more. But all right, let me just get this here. Let me go get this tree in the background, like so. Just gonna hint at it. We'll do some scary trees back here, like so. We'll do this branch out here. We'll go here. We'll do some bark like that. Crazy little bark. All right, throw that over here. Add some shadow. We'll throw this branch out here, like so. It's a sketch. It doesn't have to be beautiful. And let's see, I got something going on here, like this. Boom. And that's it, boys.
Nice.
Looking good. Oh, that slice is killer.
Awesome.
All right. Yeah, a little quick sketch here.
Oh, that.
Yeah. So I want to
I like that.
I want to thank everyone that popped on the stream. Greatly appreciated. So before I sign off, let me give you guys a little bit of love here. Let's start with Shinobi. Shinobi, why don't you tell people how they can get a hold of you on social media and maybe a little bit about any of the stuff that you got coming up. Lightboxing on you right now.
Okay, you can find me on Twitter at Ronin Raccoon, and you can check out my Instagram at Tanuki Clan. I also do my own streams. Right now I'm working out I'm working on plans on what to do with it and trying to find a time schedule that doesn't conflict with everyone else's. But check for my Twitter for updates on that.
Awesome. Appreciate that. And thanks for hopping on. Appreciate it. Shady. Yep. What's up? Oh man, dude, that cat is killing me. Oh my god, that's so awesome.
I know. Oh, that is hilarious. I like that cat.
I try to pick colors that would make it look more ridiculous as possible.
It works.
You're killing me. All right, Shady, you have the floor.
Do I have a floor? How do you know? Have you been in my house?
I have several times. You're just not there.
So you can follow me on Twitter. I'm mostly living there at Shady Comics. Or you can find me at your local jail because I've been peeping too many times. Don't worry.
Oh no. Uh-oh.
Yikes.
But yeah, other than that, I do post maybe some animation on my YouTube channel. I would give you the link to that, but I forget what my handle is. That's how long ago it's been.
Wait, Shady Tree Comics, was it? No.
Shady Comics.
Shady Comics. All right, that's awesome. Yeah, Shady, I love that cat, man. It's killing me. And listen, I understand you have a criminal record, but I don't discriminate on my channel. As long as you're trying to clean up your life. I don't know how well you're doing drawing crazy cats, but I'm here to help. I'm here to help be that bridge between you and society. All right.
Look, if there's a woman with, a nice body, I'm sorry, I'm not changing.
And last but certainly not least, we got Philip Diaz.
Yep.
And Zade Comics. So just give us some ways to get a hold of you, the things that you're working on, and that sort of thing.
Sure, yeah. I'm Phil, the co-creator of Magic Cop, the writer. You could find me on Twitter at Zade Comics or at GGA Philpops, Fillpops. That's my personal account. Post all about our comic on there, and you can actually go to this website, which is zadecomics.com, sign up for our mailing list, and you'll get to read this comic for free. It's our 12-page pilot issue. And we have our YouTube channel, Zade Comics, where we talk about our comic, other people's comics, and reviews for everything geek. So head on over to there, drop a sub, and sub to El Guapo's channel as well. And thanks for having me on, man.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for popping in and joining. It was a good stream. Appreciate you guys and all that you guys brought to the table. So,
thanks for having us.
Great night and peace out, y'all.
Later.
Later.
Yeah.